Hey guys, I decided to shoot this short video rather than just record. Um, and I'm going to try to break down as quickly as possible the system for buying land and the prices here in Khanom, okay? And plus, I'm going to add in a couple other details. But let's jump in first with the prices. So the way that this works is basically it's per rye. A rye is like, I don't know, a little less than half an acre, roughly. Okay, it's 1,600 square meters. A meter is about the length, one big stride. So if you took one big stride, that would be about a meter, roughly a yard. Okay, for those of you who don't like metric. So 1,600 square yards, okay? A little less than half an acre. A rye is then further broken down into parts. I can't remember what those parts are called, but it's like half a rye, okay? So 800 square meters. The way it works is each rye has to have a registration. It can be together in a group, usually of 5 rye or 10 rye or 7 rye or something like that. And that little plot, that plot of land, is sort of registered that way. It has paperwork for that plot of land. If you want to subdivide it, the new paperwork has to be drawn up. Somebody comes and surveys, and then you register that paperwork with the government, and it's now smaller plots. It's usually divided up into rye, but not 100% of the time. It also depends on the landscape. Okay, there is lots of land in and around Khanom, really mostly around Khanom, that is not registered at all. In other words, nobody owns it. It belongs to technically the king, I guess, okay, or whoever the land management is, right? That land, I don't know how one procures it. It's available, but I don't know how one gets that land. For example, at the top of the mountain, in the video where I say this is the land I'm most interested in. So right above that, that's not all the way at the top of the mountain. Right above that, that's where the land finishes. Like everything after that is unregistered land. So that land will likely just remain empty unless the government has some sort of a project that they allow somebody to use that land for. So that's how the land is divided up. Now the prices basically are broken down like this. You have a per rye price. That's like the standard price of the rye in that region, okay? And remember, one rye is about half an acre. So about half an acre of land, the average price by the sea here on Khanom Beach is about 15 million Thai baht per rye. Okay, so 15 million, let me try to do some math here. 1 million is roughly $38,000. So 10 million would be $380,000. And then add another half of that. So what is half of 38? 18,000, another 18,000. So we're talking 56, 560,000, yeah, per rye on the beach. Okay. As you move further away from the beach, the price then gets reduced. And when you arrive at the what they call the coastal road, that coastal road is like the dividing mark. Everything away from the beach, on the other side, the opposite side of the coastal road, the price plummets. It drops down to about 5 million baht per rye, just on the other side of the road. Okay, so that's important to understand. Now, As you move further and further away from the beach, the price seems to go down. As you move further and further outside of town, again, the price goes down. And as you move higher and higher up on the mountain, two things occur. The first thing that occurs is there's less and less development. That means the land hasn't been cleared, there's no plumbing, there's no electricity, like as you get to the top. And it sort of diminishes. The higher you go, the less work has been done. And also, the corresponding price also drops, okay? So that's the way it works. Now, if you want to buy a single rye, you're gonna pay premium baht for that, right? So you're gonna pay more if you're gonna try to just buy one single rye. However, if you buy 5 or more rye at a time in a single bunch, then you've got more negotiating power, number one, and the starting price is automatically lower, okay? So ideally, we would want to buy 5 rye at the same time. And if we do that high up on the mountain, granted, the roads are either non-existent or very, very minimal. They're just like mud and it's like a wide path. So that's an expense that you'd need to take into consideration, but it can be sort of postponed until a little bit later, right? So you get the land now, you worry about the roads later. However, at some point it has to be done if you're planning on getting people up there, right? So bear that in mind. It's a future expense when you buy the land, but you are getting that cheaper cost up front, right? So if you move way up the mountain, there's no electricity, there's no plumbing. The road is just a wide dirt trail with boulders and what have you. It requires a 4x4 truck or some other all-terrain vehicle to reach that location. You're gonna get a fairly cheap price, right? And if you buy multiple rye at the same time, then you've got a lot of negotiating power. You can really bring the price down. They're eager to sell. Everybody, there's land for sale everywhere. It is a buyer's market right now, for sure. And people are trying to cash in on this land grab that's going on. And buyers are pouring in. They're pouring in. Okay, so everywhere you look, there's land for sale, and everywhere you look, people are buying it. It seems to be the situation currently that an island called Koh Samui is very, very popular, and it's been popular for a long time. A lot of people travel there. It's it's like the Riviera of Thailand or something like that. It's very it's got a Mediterranean / California type feel, Southern California type feel. Okay, and so heaps of Israelis, heaps of Russians, heaps of Chinese, heaps of everybody. But that whole island, by and large, has now been developed. It's run through, it's curved. It's done. It's packed. It's packed full of people. There's not much speculation going on there, right? And the prices are just huge. They're enormous. And so people are starting to look elsewhere, but in the same area. Turns out, just on the other side of the channel, on the mainland, you've got this untouched little town called Khanom. Now, to the south side of Khanom, you've got Nakhon Si Thammarat to the south west, I believe. And to the northwest, you've got Serat Thani, both of which are pretty well-developed towns, okay? But right here, just south of the ferry point, heading over to Koh Samui, you've got this untouched land, and a lot of people, many people, are sort of leaving Samui Island and looking to invest now here in Khanom and the surrounding areas. That is why I believe that this is going to be a rapidly increasing in value area for every kind of development, for business, and certainly for real estate. The evidence that I've got to support this theory of mine is twofold. The first is that we've met already owners from Samoy. Now I've met two big landowners from Samoy who came over here to invest here in Khanom. And I've talked now to multiple long-term expats, so foreigners living here in Thailand who've been here for 10 plus years. And many of them used to live in Samoy. They got tired of the hustle and bustle, and so they sort of retired to this less crowded but still convenient area, Khanom. And so after hearing sort of the same story multiple times, first from an investor's point of view and then from just a private residence's point of view, I put together the theory that's what's going on. A lot of people are drawn to the area because of Samoy, and when Samoy doesn't turn out to be what they were hoping for, they're coming back to the mainland and looking to invest in something that's a little more Thai, a little less Western. And so that's what seems to be going on. Either way, whether my theory is right or wrong, there's heaps of investment going on here. So I hope that this video explained the ins and the outs of the real estate market as far as I am currently aware. If I get new and important information, I'll certainly share that with you guys moving forward. All right. See you guys.